You know what I'm gonna sit there and talk about first. Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. Yeah, Paris and Carter. I'm not gonna lie. When I start, when I start doing these reviews and watching the show, whatever. Whenever I see two characters, whatever on the screen, I sit there and rate so and so. You know, Brooke and the whole bar, whoever. The minute that I saw Carter kissing Paris, I just wrote two characters who I can't stand. I didn't even have to sit there and say their names to sit there and remember them. And yeah, that's what they were doing. They were kissing. Carter kept trying to stop. He was like, this doesn't feel right. Paris is a goddamn moron at this point. I have no hope for this character. I really don't. Which is sad because I came in this show having so much. And I mean, my whole thing was like, she keeps talking about how she's free and she's single and they're not attached. And I just keep sitting there thinking, you don't give a damn how Zende will feel about that. You don't care that he will feel hurt. That in a lot of ways, he will feel betrayed. Because, yeah, you could sit there and say, well, you told him about that you didn't want to have anything serious, and that's fine. But did you sit there and say that you were hooking up with one of his friends? Did you sit there and say that? No. She didn't even bother. My whole thing is like, she didn't even have the audacity. See, and I said this before, and unfortunately, it's one of those things that's like, it bears repeating. This is why some men have trust issues. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of characters that will make women have trust issues. Okay? I'm not sitting there saying like it goes both ways, but I am using her as an example of why people have trust issues. Because it's one thing to sit there and it's one thing to sit there and say, you know what, listen, and granted, this was after he thought that they were together. And she's sitting there talking about they're single. Of course, after she told Thomas, oh yeah, I have a boyfriend, but now you're single, whatever. It's one thing to sit there and tell him that you don't, you want to keep things casually, but at least actually have the audacity to sit there and say, hey, to let me and Carter, we've been spending a lot of time together hooking up or whatever. At least say that to him. Don't go behind his back because honestly, tell you the truth, that's what even Carter had issues with. He felt like he was going behind her back. He felt like he was going behind his back and, making out and hooking up with his girlfriend. And he felt like he was betraying the Forsters once again. He felt like he was, it's like history was repeating itself. He was like, I don't want to do, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to Zende like I did that to Eric. Because after the whole Quinn thing, they only now are starting to have a bit of respect for me. I work there. Okay, I work there. I work with these people. They treat me like family. And this is after I already screwed up. I don't want to sit there and go back again and do that again. I remember her saying something was overrated, and I was like, what in the hell is wrong with you? This is after he was like, yo, listen, I want to back up, I want to slow things down, I want to be honest and stuff. You know what she just kept doing? It's almost like she heard nothing what this man was saying. Anything about honor and decency just went in one ear and out the other, and she just continued to act like she continued to act like the immature little girl that I've come to love. And start kissing him again like what he said just didn't matter. All that stuff, responsibility, Zende's feelings, him not wanting to portray the Foresters again, um, just went out the window. It just didn't matter to her. She wanted what she wanted, and the hell with everything else. Which, by the way, she does actually work there too. She does actually work there, and Before anyone sits there and talks about, an HR nightmare, well, to be honest, they had no problem sitting there firing Donna because, she had the audacity to give Eric a boner. Let's just be honest. That's literally what wound up happening. And yet he felt the need to fire her. Okay. At this point, any one of them could sit there and be fired. Um, I don't know exactly what they could be fired for. My point is, it, Carter, I mean, granted, he's just as guilty as Paris is, but at least he has some sort of conscience to sit there and be like, you know what, listen, this is wrong. And her stupid ass is just like, yeah, that's cool. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, let's continue to, make out and play mattress tag. And that's what they kept doing. Because why not at this point? And when Zende finds out and she comes up with her BS excuses and her I'm sorry and I apologize and I didn't mean it. I'm gonna have a field day. I'm going to have a field day. Because if you thought I was actually brutal and mean before to some of these characters, oh god. This is only a sample. To be fair, I don't set out to try to be mean and a negative Nancy and all that other stuff. One, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend or downgrade how I feel um, for the sake of being nice. Um, and two, I just that's just how I feel. And I know, for people who've been watching my channel, watched my reviews for a while, I think we're at a point where it's like I don't really have to. I don't want to sit there and say justify how I feel, but I felt like my last little comment was like, all right, bro, you need to kind of take that down a little bit. I don't try to actually be a dick, but I'm not going to sit there and hide my feelings. And this girl has been pissing me off for quite a while. And I feel like I'm having deja vu. It's sort of the same thing with Chloe. Singing her praises like everybody, well, singing her praises. And now I'm just like, you are, uh, and this girl. So after Brooke is trying to swear her daughter to secrecy, don't tell Liam. I'm like, sweetheart, I'm sorry, you want to ruin her marriage too? I get it. You're desperate. You want to make sure that the secret, is as few people as possible. And but it's not that asking Hope to lie to her husband. It's like, sweetheart, no, you're lying to your husband. You don't get to sit there and put that burden on her. That's not how that works. And the fact that you're doing that is just, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? So, she tries to swear her to secrecy. She doesn't agree, but she doesn't disagree either. So it's just kind of a waiting game, sit there and see what she's going to do. Liam. Now, Brooke is also worried about Douglas telling everyone that she saw Grandma kissing Santa. It's like, what is he gonna? What's gonna happen? He's a very outgoing kid. He doesn't know it could blow away. It can blow apart my marriage, and this, that, and the third. I'm gonna lose my marriage. Yeah, Brooke, we get it. Okay, we got it. Friday, we got it today, and probably the other days before that. We all get it. Okay. Um, and they're going back and forth. And at some point, Rich comes in. Hope leaves. Hope goes to Liam, and at first I'm sitting there thinking, is Hope gonna do the right thing and tell the truth, or is she gonna sit there and listen to her mother and cause problems between their marriage? You're on Hope. What are you gonna do? And she tells him the truth. She's like, yeah, I saw Brooke. Yeah, it's true. Douglas saw Brooke not so much kissing Santa, but kissing my dad. So he knows, and I'm glad because I'm like, sweetheart, you had two forks, you had two lanes you could have went into. I said fork in the road or whatever, but point is, she chose right. Now, Ridge is at Forrester's, and Forrester's Creations. Forrester's Creations. That's not the worst name. Actually, it's okay. Anyway, so she's there with Taylor. He's there with Taylor, and they're reminiscing about the good old days and this, that, and the third. And they're hugging. And Steffi is peeking in with Thomas, and Steffi is practically salivating. I mean, this woman is just like, oof, she is something else. But she closes the door. Then she comes back, and then they come back in with Thomas, and all having a good time, and they're talking and they're laughing, and Steffi just ruins it. Steffi ruins it. When she brings up Brooke, like, oh, you don't want to go back home. It's nice to be here. Otherwise, other than going back to otherwise going back to home with that damn Brooke or something that she said. And it was the way she said it, and everyone just kind of just stopped and was like, and Reg is like in his head, you could just see WTF, like, are you kidding me? So they get into it a little bit. And, Thomas joins in. He's been like, oh, I've been trying to be neutral and stuff like that. And I get it. I get it from both of their sides. Brooke isn't exactly handling this whole Deacon thing the best, causing a lot of problems between Ridge and her. But what they're not understanding, what they're not really getting, is that, Brooke and Snitty trying to do this for Hope. Now, yes, when I was sitting there reading the comments, and I remember somebody was sitting there saying, "Listen, it's not that Rich don't want you, you know." Well, I mean, the point is, basically, it was like he's not trying to stop their relationship. He just doesn't want it in his house. He doesn't want Deacon on the premises. It's not like they can't go anywhere else, spend time anywhere else other than on the property, and that's pretty much what Rich is that they're getting to. Now, I don't know if by property he means coming over to, because there's the cabin and then there's the main house. So I don't know if that extends to just the cabin, just going over to see Hope at the cabin, or does that just mean the whole property? But the point is, you know regardless if it's the whole property or not, he's just asking him to not be there. And when you really stop and thought about it, it wasn't so much of an unreasonable request. So I get where his family's coming from. And maybe Brooke wasn't exactly handling it the best, but she did want a relationship between, she did support a relationship between Hope and Deacon, and it did put her in a tough spot. And I don't think that people really appreciated that or really empathize a little bit, to try to see it from her side, her point of view. And of course, Steffi's not going to see it from her point of view because she's a Logan. So, with that being said, of course she's going to sit there and get into it with her dad, and her dad eventually leaves, and Taylor's like, listen, I get that you're happy I'm back and we're together and everything like that, but I don't need you putting pressure on Reg. And Steffi just took it in one ear and out the other and was like, yeah, well, I don't think it's a bad idea to. I was like, sweetheart, did you not just listen to what your mom said? Your mom just told you, don't push pressure on him. Don't do that. Don't put pressure on him. And her response is, well, I don't think it's a bad idea if just to remind him of what, he has another family. Another family? Wow. There goes that division again. I thought it was just one big happy family, or at the very least, one coexistent family. But nope. No, 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 no. Okay, Steffi just got to draw a line in the sand. It's us versus y'all. That's pretty much where she's coming from. And Thomas more or less just kind of backs her up. I mean, here's the thing: he's not as aggressive as her, but he does back her up. Um, so they go into it. And at some point, Rich does get back, and well, the usual happens. He wondered what's going on because he saw like a little, I guess, an argument between Hope and Brooke, was Brooke does. Brooke lies. I don't know why I was drinking in the first place. I let you down. Blah 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 blah. And Ridge is like, no, I I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, and I want to be supportive. And then they hug, and then Brooke just, well, she does her usual thing where she looks sad and she looks like she's afraid of losing her marriage. And I don't know. Part of me just kind of just has that look, or she just has that look like we're supposed to feel sorry for her, and I'm like, nah, bro, we don't feel sorry for you. Like if you would have been honest about it, then we would have had a bit of empathy for you. Yeah, you screwed up, and you've probably been doing that since day one. For some people, just even allowing Deacon back in your life, but we understood why you allowed it to happen for your daughter's sake. But y'all two having a relationship was never really supposed to be a thing. You seeing him, spending time with him, knowing how your husband felt about him, and you still kept doing it anyway. But now you're crying and you're sad, and we're supposed to sit there and feel some sort of, oh, Brooke, we understand where you're coming from. Damn it, I feel so sorry for Brooke. No, no one. I want to sit there and say no one, but most people don't feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for her. Actress is killing this role. I will give her that, but no, no, just no. Oh, and Liam and Douglas talk for a little bit. Um, he's just feeling, he just feels worried that, Hope is upset with him, and Liam is like, no, you probably shouldn't have snuck out because, we usually tell you stuff like not to do it for a reason, but, other than that, we're good. And yeah, I think that's about it. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.